Good evening, Pearl Jam community. I'm here tonight with singer, songwriter, and guitarist Jack West. Jack's talent was first brought to our attention as Pearl Jam fans when he was invited on stage to sing Society alongside Eddie Vedder at a 2017 Ed solo show in Nashville. As many of you already know, Jack and his band will be playing the Wishlist Foundation See Here Now pre-party event on Friday, September 17th, and we hope that you will join us there. Tonight, we're going to talk to Jack to find out more about his music career. And also, we'll be talking about the Wishlist events that will be going on next week that we can all look forward to attending prior to the See Here Now festival. So welcome, Jack, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So you're only 16 years old, correct?
Yes. 16.
So do you remember how old you were when you first became interested in music and when you first picked up an instrument or the guitar?
Yeah, so like when I was like really young, like 4 or 5, like I always just like was into like music and stuff. I started taking piano, and that was the first thing I ever took. And then like when I was 8, I got my first guitar at like a garage sale. And then just like the lessons just kept like progressing, I guess. And then I quit lessons and I just like taught myself. So I guess like just like I guess my whole life, I just been like always like around like a piano or a guitar or whatever. So like since I was like 4 or 5, but I always like knew that's what I wanted to do. You know.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now that you have started writing your own music, singing your own music, are there any bands or vocalists that you feel have inspired your sound?
Um, Foster the People, like Mark, he sings in that. Mark Foster, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, um, like a lot of like newer stuff, like I like the weekend and stuff, like especially with this newer music coming out, like it's like really different than my old stuff. So yeah, I mean, I guess like I don't know, it's like who I listen to. I listen to like Machine Gun Kelly a lot, but I don't know. I guess like the first three, whatever I named there.
Yeah, so that's kind of has it did it influence you to create these songs and then this album that's coming up, or do you feel like you have your own sound?
Um, I feel like for these new songs, I feel like there are definitely influences because like 2019, I just started to listen to like all different types of music, and then like the quarantine stuff happened, and I just like listened to like whatever, and my music kind of just like expanded from there. That's when I wrote like all those singles that came out too. So those were a little different than the ones I recorded before as well. So,
Right. And so, was your songwriting something that you've always been doing? And I'm just interested, as a teacher
oh
who
yeah.
helps teach writing, did your songwriting come from maybe poetry or other things? And then did you say, oh, this could maybe be a great song? Or was it always that you were writing toward your goal of creating that into a song?
Um, for the first like album I recorded, it was like I guess there were like a lot of like poems or whatever, like notes or like in my phone or like on paper, and then I just put music to it. But that's how I used to do it. But lately I've been like writing everything on the piano and just keeping it pretty simple, and then just like just like writing whatever comes out or whatever. So yeah.
And when did you start writing writing songs or poetry? How old were you?
I was always writing poetry when I was like in like third grade. But when I wrote my first song, I was like 10, but it was really bad, and that didn't like do anything. But my first real song where I was like 13, and that's on Spotify. But it's not very good.
Okay. Oh, I'm sure it's awesome. Now, you had a handful of singles that you were alluding to that you wrote
Uh
during
huh.
COVID.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about those songs and how they came to be? Was it stemming from the pandemic and the feelings that you were going through, or for many people, writing was a therapeutic process. Is that what you felt this was for you? Is this how these were created, or did you just have more
Um,
time on your hands?
well, yes, I certainly have way more time on my hands. So I was like, well, it's been a little bit since I put out some music. So like I like called a few of my bandmates or whatever. They live in New York City, but we all wrote like over Zoom, and then Barrett Jones, who did my first record, he like mixed and like mastered all them. And yeah, I mean, I guess it was like therapeutic, but I just like wrote about like I guess like missing out. That song "Missing Out" with Mike McCready. I guess that's like a COVID song, I suppose, out of all of them. But yeah.
Well, tell me about working with Mike McCready and
Yeah.
how that came to be, and how did you get to, work with Barrett, and how did all of that come to be?
Well, I met Barrett like over like an Instagram message, because I just hit him up asking if he wanted to record my first record. So that got connected, and then fast forward a few years, we recorded this song "Missing Out." And at the last minute, I was just gonna play the solo on it, and it's just gonna be like another old song. But uh, then he texted, he got a hold of Mike, and he played it from his house or whatever in Seattle. I didn't meet him through the recording process, but he recorded it from his house, and it was worked out. So
Now, tell me about the beginning when you were, what, 12 when you met Eddie in Nashville?
12,
12?
yeah.
Yeah, so I've got to know about that story. You saw him in the lobby or the street of, or outside of your hotel, and tell us about that story of how you approached him and how you had a conversation with him before you went on stage with him.
Yeah. So it was in the lot, or he was just like coming out of the hotel. I just like stopped him, or I just like saw him, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's Eddie Vedder." And I just like stopped him, and I was like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And then I just asked him if I could sit with him, like just straight up, and he said yeah. He said yeah. He said yeah. And then we just talked for like 10 minutes on the side of the street, and that was that. And then he just like found me, or his bodyguard found me at the festival, like hours before the show. I went back to his trailer, practiced with him, had a burger. There was some food back there and stuff. It was all good. But and then yeah, then I just like my whole family got to go backstage, and I just played with them. So it was a weird day,
So
but
how did you have the courage to ask if you could sing with him? Did you just figure, what do I have to lose?
yeah. I mean, I was like, what's he gonna say? And he
Right?
said yeah.
That's amazing. So going up there, what was that like on stage with 30,000 people?
um, it was. I mean, right. If it was to happen again, if I was to play in front of 30,000 people like tomorrow, I think I'd be way more nervous than I was at 12. But because I just didn't like know when I was 12, and I just like walked up there and sang. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't really scared. I just like walked up there and did my thing, I guess, and he walked off. But it was like super crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure. So do you feel like that was the turning point in your music career, that moment of kind of getting
Yeah,
noticed?
because up to then I didn't. There was a number of things I wanted to do, whether it be a director, artist, or a painter, whatever. But not that, when that happened, I just knew I wanted to do music. So you
That's
know,
great.
thankfully.
So I'm going to go back to talking about this album that's coming out. It's coming out in October, correct?
Like hopefully before 2022, like November, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
great. So what was that process like, that recording process? I mean, I know we kind of talked a little bit about it, but how much time did that take for you?
Uh,
And
I've been recording. We recorded the first song. Actually, we started recording the first song a year ago today in New York City. So it's been over a year, and it's been really annoying that it's been that long. But I've been recording it remotely from my house and in New York City. So I've been going back and forth because my band lives in New York City. I need to record with them. But
Mhm.
I just been I really have liked writing this because I just been writing about whatever I want and like making the type of music, anything I want, and I just think it's gonna be really good. And I've been writing over the course of a year, so it's been a long time.
Yeah,
Should be cool, and I'm excited for people to hear it. So,
it's very exciting. So, do you have a recording studio in your house? If you're kind of,
um, I mean, you don't
um,
even need a studio. I have this equipment for it. I have like the equipment to get what I need done.
right.
Like an interface. Like my laptop, like microphones, like a MIDI controller. But
Yeah.
when I go to record my vocals, I go to New York to do that, and
Okay.
I just record like my guitar from here, and that's about it.
Okay. So you've been traveling quite a bit, and I noticed that you've been, in different areas, different bars, showing up in different scenes. And what is that like, now that you're heading back to school, and how do you balance all of that?
I had my first day of school today.
Oh boy.
My first day of school in like 5 years because I've been doing online school for the past 5 years. But
Okay.
but how do I balance it? I mean, I guess I have been doing the online school, but I guess my school is just gonna have to get used to my schedule.
Right.
So I know I'm
You're
kidding,
gonna
but
learn how to balance it, I
yeah,
guess.
I'm gonna learn how to balance it. But I do have quite a few like stuff coming up, like in September and October. But so it'll be a good balance, like you said. Yeah.
Good. And what so far, I know you're very young and your career
Mhm.
is young, but what are you most proud of so far and what you've accomplished?
Um, playing playing like pretty much like all the like quality New York City clubs like you could possibly play like Cafe Wa, the Bowery Electric, um, pianos, the Bitter End, like those are all some pretty classic places, and the Bottle Rock Festival in California was pretty crazy. Like there's a lot of people. It was, like the biggest stage I've ever played on, next to the Eddie Vedder thing, and it was just like a really cool, fun experience. So those are pretty things
So
I'm
what
proud
you should be. So what are your goals now? The sky's the limit. What are your goals?
of. I want to move to New York City. Um, yeah, I really want to move to New York City. I just really hope this album does well. I'm like doing like vinyl with it. So I'm really excited about that and looking forward to the year of 2022 because I think that'll be a good year for me personally. So yeah,
Yeah. And hopefully for all of us
yeah,
as
hopefully
the
for everyone too.
hopefully it'll be a
A
better
better year
year.
for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Now, what can we look forward to hearing from you at the Wishlist Foundation pre-party for See Here Now?
Um, you can look forward to hearing some of those songs on my new album that no one's ever heard because we play those live. But so you can look forward to that and a few quality covers in there too. So it's good stuff.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, we're really looking forward to it, and we're so excited that you're able to play at the pre-party.
Yeah, I'm
And
excited.
we just want to remind everybody that on Wednesday, the 15th, there is going to be a party at Danny Clinch's studio. And also on Friday, the 17th, we're going to have our pre party that we've been talking about this evening. So please follow Wishlist, follow Jack West on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, so that you can hear of all of his upcoming concerts and appearances, and so that you can find out more about what Wishlist is doing next week as we get excited about seeing Pearl Jam for the first time in a very long time. So thank you so much, Jack, for your time, especially on your first day back to school.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And we look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, thank you, and I will see you soon.